Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome to this video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I call the AI Dev God Stack. This is how I build apps in literally hours. Couple of things, guys. I'm not vibe coding anymore. I watch everything that AI does. I do everything step by step. And also another thing to note is that this stack is how I've been building things so damn quickly. Now, just as an example, you guys might have seen, I released Noxy the other day. This is just an example, but basically I created this entire application. It completely works. And I think I probably spent 5 to 6 hours on it, but I launched it, right? It's not just like a soft launch. It's actually launched. It has paying customers already. It's on to do 500 a month just already, right? Which is absolutely crazy. Now, this isn't a sales pitch for Noxy. I'm just showing it as an example, right? So how can you build something like this so damn quickly? This is also the same stack that I use for Harbor. Harbor is my main SaaS tool right now. It's doing extremely well. Thank you to everyone that signed up. Just so you guys know, you can still sign up for the founder pricing until midnight tonight. You've got about 13 hours to sign up. These numbers are going up every single day, so we're getting more impressions, more clicks. These blog posts are ranking extremely well on Google. The reason being is because I updated the model to use a much better model. We're using Sonnet 4.6 now for the writer. You can lock in either the light or the powerhouse. This is going to be changed tomorrow. Likely the prices aren't going to change. It's just the amount of articles you get is going to go down. Or I'm going to just give founders more articles, right? I still haven't fully decided what I'm going to do. You have until the end of today to go and sign up. So go and sign up, guys. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. Thanks for the attention. Let's jump back into the video. So this is what I call the AI Dev God Stack. This is pretty much everything I use to ship apps in extremely short amount of time. So the first thing is, we use Next.js as a static website. So I'm not using Next.js as a server. I'm using it purely as the thing that is in the browser, which might also be a server. I'm really bad with that kind of stuff, but there's no backend, right? It's literally just a frame. So when I click a button, what happens is it talks to my backend, but my backend is not on Next.js. My backend is on Convex instead. So it's a shell. All of this is Next.js. It's extremely fast, really, really nice website, right? I mean, it could probably do with a bit better of a design. But overall, it's a really, really nice website, and you can just see that everything works. It's super fast, click, click, click. But it's just a Next.js static website. Every time I click something, if I click like generate content with Harbor, it will send a message to the backend, right? So it's purely the homepage, marketing, and dashboard on Next.js. Now, Convex is where the magic happens. Now, this isn't an ad for Convex. I've tried to get them to sponsor me. They don't really seem to be very, they don't reply to me. But yeah, Convex is what I use as the backend. So if I just go to Harbor here, Harbor v2, this is free to use up to a point, right? Pretty much everything in this video is free to use. There are a couple of paid tools, but 99% of things are free to use. So we have our database here. We have our functions here, which serve as the backend. You can see there's a lot of functions here. So it's like a backend plus database wraps into one. It's kind of like Supabase, but people just prefer it. I prefer it. I'm not sure why everyone prefers it. It's split into dev and prod automatically, which is super nice as well, I have to say. So like there's an automatic split between dev and prod, so you're not really going to mess around with dev versus prod or whatever. So super, super nice. Honestly, cannot recommend Convex enough. And what you do is you set up Next.js and then you set up Convex, or you set them both up at the same time. Literally, if you just go on Google and type Next.js Convex and click on the first one, literally all you do is run that, and this will create a Next.js Convex site for you, right? Super simple, super easy. Then we use Clerk. The reason I use Clerk, you can read all these little notes I've made as well, but the main reason I use Clerk is because it is compliant, right? One of the biggest problems you can have is that you're not compliant with your the data storage of your users. So what you can do instead is you can use Clerk, which is automatically compliant. It gives you this really, really nice way to track like sign-ins, total signups. So even if you didn't have any kind of analytics tool, you can still see how many users you've got, right? So like how the growth of users is going, etc. So like even now that we're a paid tool, you can see just how many people are still signing in every single day to Harbor. I'm doing everything from Harbor's perspective, just so you know, just because Harbor is my most established SaaS. It's the one I've put the most hours into, etc., etc. Right? So that's why I'm talking so much about SaaS, about Harbor. So yeah, it uses GDPR friendly and US friendly. So I think it's like SOC2 or something. Don't quote me on that, but it's basically just compliant user storage. Then for payments, we use Stripe. I wouldn't recommend using payment links, Stripe links, sorry, but what I would definitely recommend you use is the Stripe MCP. So with the Stripe MCP, if I just write /MCP, you can see the Stripe MCP is connected. You can do things like create me a new price for my medium plan, which gives half of Powerhouse articles. So if we just watch this for a second, what it'll do is so this is pretty much, I don't use that many MCPs, but one of the MCPs I use for sure is the Stripe MCP. I have to say the Stripe MCP saves me a lot of hassle with Stripe. Stripe is extremely annoying to use if you didn't know. So with the Stripe MCP, you can do very, very easy things, right? Yes, 49 euros. Call it, I don't know, something. So this is probably one of my favorite things to do. You don't really have to worry about Stripe if you have the MCP. Highly recommend it, guys. So 10,000 words of Harbor content, sure, it's completely wrong, but it doesn't matter. This is just an example. And there we go. We now have a new price, which we could very quickly and very easily add to our project. Normally that would take 10 minutes. Instead, you just use the Stripe MCP. Now, PostHog is another MCP that I use. So if I just go here, you should see PostHog. There we go, it's connected. So I can say like, get me my latest data from PostHog and do an analysis. Let's just go on to PostHog quickly so you guys can see what it's all about. PostHog, again, they won't sponsor me. I've asked them loads of times. They just don't want to sponsor me for whatever reason. But I still use it every single day and I will still talk about it at every opportunity. This shit has changed my life, honestly. Previously, I tried to use Google Analytics. I have more recently got into Google Analytics, but still, I would still rather use PostHog, right? So you can see here, this is basically a huge summary of everything. Harbor, right? So unique users, article generations obviously went down when we went from a free tool to a paid tool, pretty standard. How many people are using their credits? How many people are, canceling, or there's a lot of cancellations. I manually went through and canceled all of my test accounts today. That's why there's a huge increase in cancellations. Token depletions, see who's actually using things. How many search consoles we have, almost 150 now, beautiful. GSCQ results page, so like people looking at results pages. Just all of this really, really useful information, which also this can grab. Now this is the complete wrong project, it looks like. Let me just see here. Okay, so this is for Ballandary part, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Same thing. So yeah, you can see this is just a way for me and Claude Code to analyze our data together. So super, super helpful, super useful. The next one is Google Analytics. I wouldn't have had this until very recently. If you watched my video yesterday, I showed you how I actually got Google Analytics set up. It's not something that I normally would do. However, because I use Google Chrome inside Claude Code, I actually managed to get Claude Code to set this up for me. So it's completely set up and integrated with Google Ads, which is the first time I've ever managed to get Google Analytics 4 set up. So I definitely would recommend doing that as well. Composio, if you don't know, Composio is one of my favorite little apps. What it does is, I'll just show you on Noxy actually because it's easier because I haven't actually used it inside Harbor yet. But basically these buttons here, Reddit Connect and Twitter Connect, both of these are done with Composio. So if you don't know what Composio basically is it's like OAuth as a service. So I just go to get started here and you can either use Composio to connect Claude Code to, for example, Gmail, or you can build with Composio, which is what I'm going to do. So what this does is you go to auth configs. Let's just say you want to create like a Reddit one, right? You can see Reddit. And then you click here and we should be able to do connect account just to show you. So if I press connect account, pop-up blocked. So let's unblock that pop-up. Then this pops up and then allow. So what this basically means is now whatever I connect to Composio using the Composio API key will be able to post on Reddit for me, right? So another thing I was thinking of doing is on Harbor adding Instagram, right? And then basically importing PostForge, which was a tool I made a while back, into Harbor so people can automatically post onto Instagram using Composio, right? So Composio, really, really good. It helps a lot for OAuth, right? If you're having problems with importing OAuth into your projects, definitely check out Composio. Shadcn, more recently, is something that I've been getting into. I absolutely love Shadcn. If you don't know, it's a UI UX library, and it basically means you don't have to worry about mobile and things like that. You can start a project here, and you can kind of just, there should be a way to just randomize, shuffle. So you just shuffle through until you find something that you like. And then once you find something that you really like, then you just export it, or you can open in V0 as well and start really designing the entire project, right? So this saves you a lot of time and a lot of effort, and also means that most things are mobile friendly out of the box. Harbor is built using Shadcn. You can kind of just tell by the components, right? Vercel, again, free up to a point. Once you start making money, you do have to pay them, but we're paying them 20 bucks a month. And because we're using Convex, the way it works is all of the calls are routed through Convex. So we're not actually paying Vercel per call, we're just paying them to host the website. Now the main advantage of this, if I go to deployments, you can see 1 minute, 55 seconds, 55 seconds, 58 seconds. I used to have to wait 15 minutes for DigitalOcean to build my project, right? I didn't realize that Vercel offered 1 minute builds. So that's kind of changed my life when it comes to building, because now I can ship much, much more quickly, literally 15 times more quickly to check whether something is working in production or not. Now, one thing to mention is SEO issues. You've got to be really, really careful. I've been de-indexed many times on Vercel, so just be careful with how it's set up and make sure that everything is readable by Google. Resend, I cannot recommend Resend enough. It's probably my most used tool. It's where I live. You can see if I go on metrics here. I'm sorry for everyone that's been getting blasted by emails, guys. Like, I'm surprised not more of you have complained, honestly. Like, 0.6% complaint rate. I've just sent 62,000 emails in the last 15 days, and I only had like this amount of complaints. That's insane, honestly. But yeah, Resend is really, really good. Basically, the way I did Harbor, if you're curious, is number one is I made it free. Number two, I collected emails/accounts. Number three, I made it paid. Number four, offer founder pricing. And number five, blast people with emails. But these emails, they're not cold emails. They're warm emails, right? Because they're people who signed up to the free Harbor session, right? And if you're curious, guys, I'll be transparent with you. We're on about, I would say, 5,000 MMR. To be completely safe, I would say 4,000 MMR from Harbor subs since we launched the new Harbor, right? So it's been an amazing launch. It's not as much as we were hoping for, but still, this is a really good number that I'm super happy with and super proud of. So thank you to anyone and everyone that signed up to Harbor. And like I said at the beginning of the video, you do still have about 13 hours left to join. So the other two, guys, these are the final two that I'll talk about. Jina plus Bright Data, really good for external LLM scraping. If you don't know what LLM scraping is, I can actually just show you. This is how Harbor works, basically. So let's just go to two men, and let's go to shoes, sneakers, and let's just pick this sneaker, right? So let's say we want the images and the pricing from this website. How do we get the images and the pricing from this website? Well, we can use something called Jina or Bright Data, depending on whatever you're trying to do. Bright Data is good for certain things. Jina is good for other things. And you can just put the URL here, and you can see this is just 2 lines of code, right? Literally just 2 lines of code. And then watch this. Watch what happens. Bang. You get this entire website in HTML, right? So what can you do from here? You can look for CDN. CDN are images, if you're unaware. There we go. These are all of the product images from that website. So what do you do next, right? What is the point of this? So if I press, is there a copy button? Where's the copy button? Yeah, copy here, right? Let's just go to Gemini. I'm just going to say, please extract the product images from this content into a JSON format, right? And then we just paste the content and press enter. That might be too long for Gemini, not sure. No, it looks like it's working. So what this should do is this should extract the content. There it is. So product title, product images. And then what can you do with this? You feed this to an LLM and you say, please write me an article. Make sure to embed these images, right? Again, this is just a quick example, right? But it should write an article and it should embed them. So that is LLM scraping. So let's see here. Okay, it's probably not going to embed the images. Okay, it didn't embed the images, but you understand what I mean, right? This is just an example. So this is how Harbor actually works at a base level. We use Jina scrapes and Bright Data scrapes in order to do external LLM scraping and output as JSON, right? So what do we output? We output things like pricing, images, internal links, and other things like that. And then the final one, guys, there's two ways to do this. More recently, though, I've been using Gemini 3 Flash plus grounding. The reason being is they give you quite a lot of searches per day. So if I just go on Google and type Gemini pricing and then click here and then scroll down, you can see grounding with Google search. This is Gemini 3.1 Pro View, but whatever. 5,000 prompts per month and then $14 for 1,000 search queries. The important thing is this, search queries. So you got to be really careful that you're not doing too many search queries. This shot me in the foot the other day and we were losing an absolute crap ton of money because it was doing too many searches. But yeah, this together is super powerful. You would not believe the kind of information that you can actually get from just doing a grounded search query. You can get URLs, you can get emails, you can get links, you can get information, you can get so much stuff that is so good for writing an article. I would say these two things here, this is how Harbor works at a base level to create such good content. Overall, guys, this is the AI Dev God Stack. This is what I use every single time I build a project. I would say the ones I don't use that often, but sometimes a bit more niche, are Composio, probably just Composio, to be honest with you. Composio has definitely got a niche use case that I don't always use, but when I do, it's so good and so fast. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching all the way to the end of the video, you're an absolute legend. Go and check out harborseo.ai. There's a link in the description and in the pinned comment, and I'll see you very, very soon with some more content. Peace out.